Feeling unwell, she had opted to rest for a while that day. However, upon waking up, she was greeted by commotion, as minutes of footage from a Ring door camera revealed that the Homeowners Association had issued a hefty $125 fine due to her packages. The mother was overwhelmed. Her only desire had been for a day free from disturbances. When her husband returned home, he discovered her in tears, desperately trying to determine how they would come up with the money. It was at that moment that he decided to take matters into his own hands. Observing the men she loved tuck their 1-month-old baby into the crib before storming out, she noticed the vein pulsating on his forehead and the tight clench of his jaw. Hastening after him, she pleaded with him to reconsider his actions. This behavior was not unfamiliar to her the last time it occurred. They were compelled to relocate houses. Attempting to convince him, the wife proposed alternative solutions that would benefit everyone involved. She was well aware of the capabilities of her veteran husband. The veteran swiftly made his way to the kitchen, the place where he concealed his tools. Moments later, he emerged carrying a Marine-issued duffel bag slung over his shoulder. Casting a glance at his wife and little boy, he instructed her to stay indoors and lock the door. "No matter what you hear, don't come out," he gruffly conveyed. And with that, he pushed open the front door and stepped into the darkness. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. For Rachel Miller, this marked the anticipated fresh start that she and her family had been seeking. Following months of relentless house hunting, she and Liam, her husband of 2 years, had at last discovered a residence that met all their criteria. Nestled in a charming neighborhood in Myrtle Beach, the house was surrounded by white picket fences. It seemed like the ideal place they had been searching for. The serene neighborhood promised long, undisturbed naps for their son. With its safety and the presence of numerous children from neighboring houses, it guaranteed that as their little one grew up, he would be surrounded by many friends. For Rachel, this place felt like heaven. Despite the perfection of Rachel's new home, she found it challenging to derive enjoyment from it. Juggling motherhood and a career as a new mom proved to be more demanding than anticipated. Adding to the complexity was the recent relocation to a new neighborhood without the support of friends and family. Yet, Rachel faced it all with resilience, her posture unwavering. Even Liam acknowledged their ability to stand firm. Having secured a job as a mechanic at one of the premier garages in town, he left each morning to make ends meet. In the initial days, everything seemed to be progressing smoothly, but soon disaster would strike. The predicament began on Tuesday night. Having spent just over a month in their new home, the Millers had already gotten to know their neighbors. After dinner, they dedicated time to browsing Amazon for budget-friendly household items, ranging from appliances to furniture. Little did they know the consequences that would unfold from these seemingly innocuous purchases. They'd already ordered utensils and carpets and needed items to baby-proof the house. They needed better curtains, a TV stand, and new lawn chairs too. The couple placed their orders and checked out. Delivery time read between Saturday and Monday, perfect for the couple, as they could do a few more repairs while waiting for the items to arrive. Soon enough, Thursday came. The Amazon delivery had 5 large boxes en route to the house, and Rachel couldn't wait to have them in her hands. The hours continued counting, and Friday night was here before the couple knew it. But with this came something none of them could have foreseen. All the fatigue from the move and juggling work and motherhood suddenly caught up to Rachel. She'd been putting it off for days now, maintaining that she was okay. But that night, her body almost shut down. Her chest burnt and her head throbbed. She couldn't stop sweating and felt like someone was rubbing hot sand inside her veins and lungs. She called out to Liam, who came running to find her leaning against the kitchen counter. "Something's wrong," she said, and in the blink of an eye, her husband had her and their son in warm clothes, and in the warm clothes and in the car, speeding to the emergency room. The doctor looked at Rachel. "When you in match to the Rachel?" She was shocked to find out that the mom had no downtime between the delivery of her son and now. She'd been on her toes, constantly working. The doctor ordered Rachel to spend the next week off. "Take some time off from work, from everything. Enjoy being a new mom for a few days," she said, and Rachel nodded. Liam took her home, and the moment they got there, he made her promise to take the week off. Rachel went to bed, but the next time she woke, the sun was already on the other side of the sky. Her phone read 2 p.m., meaning she'd been out all night and morning. She also got texts from Liam, informing her he'd taken their son to the local fair. He'd already made her a hearty breakfast, which he wanted her to finish before continuing with her rest. Rachel took his advice. She groggily had breakfast, which by now was lunch, and had a shower. Afterward, she put on her favorite audiobook and put on her AirPods. 10 minutes in, and whatever residual dose of the medication she'd taken the previous night kicked in, Rachel passed out, with the lulling voices of Melody Mose and Henry W. Kramer singing in her ears. But she woke up to commotion, with several minutes of footage from her Ring door camera informing her that someone was at her door. And at first, Rachel thought it was Liam. But this was different. Rachel accessed the camera footage, and that's when she saw it. Her porch was filled with packages from the orders she and Liam had made. She watched as the delivery men came one after another, placing the boxes. There was nothing out of the ordinary until the man appeared. Gay at first, he looked like your run-of-the-mill suburban dad, which he definitely was. He stepped up to the camera and introduced himself. "I'm Harry from the blue-roofed house down the street," he said. "I'm here with the HOA. I usually keep an eye on the neighborhood to make sure everything is running smoothly and our homes are safe and the neighborhood clean. I have been watching delivery trucks come to your house throughout the day. You have like a ton of packages on your porch. The HOA code says you cannot have all these packages on your porch. You can order to your heart's content, but you cannot leave them out here like this." And that's when everything took a turn for the worst. "These packages have been here all day. All day. They'd been here all day. I don't want to look at them anymore. They're ugly. Now I'm getting annoyed. I don't even understand how you have so much money, so because I'm quite upset, you're getting a fine for all these packages." He started counting them one by one. 5 packages, each $25. That's $125 as a fine since these packages have been here for more than 6 hours, and then he walked away. Rachel thought she was dreaming as she watched the footage. She sprang up from the bed, almost falling over. She and Liam were barely squeezing through financially. Where would they get $125 now? Liam returned home that evening to find Rachel stressing over the Ring camera footage. Some of them had HOA rules, while others had her and Liam's bank details. "What's wrong?" Liam asked as he held their son close. Rachel didn't speak. She showed him the footage, and that's when it happened. Anger flooded his eyes, and a muscle on his jaw started ticking. He painstakingly placed their son in his crib and turned to leave. "Let me talk to them tomorrow, honey," Rachel insisted. But Liam only turned to her for a split second. The anger in his eyes had morphed into fiery malice and fury. A moment later, he walked out with his Marine-issue duffel bag slung over his shoulder. Rachel ran after Liam as he marched to Harry's house. She knew what he was capable of. She had seen him black out with rage a few times because the world dared to wrong her. "It's just $125, she said. But even she knew that wasn't where his issue lay. He'd seemingly recognized the couple and came to lord his power over them. Rachel had seen her husband, Liam Miller, in many lights. She'd seen him as a lover and a friend, her soulmate, as a husband and partner, a responsible man, and as a loving and equally hardworking father. But she'd also witnessed the warrior in him. He'd been a blur. One second, he was standing before her, and the next, he was an inch next to Harry, looking down at him with malicious intent. Harry, wide-eyed and visibly shaking, tried to step back. But the space between him and the furious vet didn't widen. "Is this about the fine?" Harry stammered. Liam didn't answer. He reached into his bag, the sound of metal knocking against metal renting the air. "It's about the fine," Harry concluded. His eyes wouldn't even dare look down at what Liam was about to take from his bag. It was then that Liam spoke. "This is the last time you'll leave such scathing messages on our house camera. If you have any issues, come straight to us. If we are not home, wait, you look like a stand-up, reasonable guy," Liam whispered. "Wait, are you a stand-up, reasonable guy?" Harry nodded quickly. "Good," the vet said and turned around. "I expect your $125 tomorrow." Harry turned on his heels, sprinting into the darkness. Rachel ran and buried her face in Liam's chest. He wrapped his burly arms around her and said, "I told you, anyone that makes you tear up will answer to me."